Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. Zoro is the Straw Hat's second in command, Luffy's right-hand man, something that was even officially confirmed in words thanks to the One Piece live action. But Sanji, who is seen as one of the Pirate King's wings, doesn't like knowing that his rival holds a position above him in the crew. And today we're going to talk about his reaction to that. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. The rivalry between Zoro and Sanji is one of the oldest and most iconic in Luffy's crew, almost as if the two were made to fight all the time, like an old married couple bickering in a bar. This feud started way back in chapter 68 in Barity, when Sanji first joined the crew and immediately started trading insults with Zoro. Since then, their rivalry has become one of the greatest attractions of the story. Zoro, with his serious attitude and the look of someone who spent the whole night training, calls Sanji a lousy cook, while Sanji, always ready with his powerful kicks and waiter-like charm, fires back with stupid Marimo. The exchange of insults never lets up. In Water 7, in chapter 301, this rivalry got so intense that they nearly killed each other in a serious fight. But despite all the hostility, one thing always unites them: their unwavering loyalty to Luffy. That loyalty is what gives weight to the theory about Sanji's behavior when Zoro is named second in command. To Sanji, that position feels like a blow to his pride, because deep down, he also wants to be recognized as essential to the crew, just like Zoro. In chapter 485 in Thriller Bark, Zoro has one of his most iconic moments. He sacrifices himself for Luffy by taking on Kuma's damage, a scene that screams vice-captain in every second. Sanji, watching in silence, shows respect, but his eyes reveal a mix of admiration and jealousy. Zoro's sacrifice is a milestone, and Sanji, who takes immense pride in being the crew's cook and protector, can't help but feel uneasy about the greatness of Zoro's act. After the time skip, in chapter 597, their dynamic keeps heating up. Zoro returns stronger after his training with Mihawk and seems closer than ever to the level of a true vice-captain. Meanwhile, Sanji faces his own struggles, like escaping the Okamas on Momoiro Island. Chapter 595. He gains a new flaming kick ability, but he can't shake off the pressure of keeping up with the swordsman. The comparison between the two becomes clearer than ever, and Sanji's frustration grows, like he's always in the background trying to prove his worth. And we can't forget a hilarious but revealing moment in Marineford, chapter 561, when Zoro cuts an entire ship in half. Sanji, always hot-tempered, nearly punches a pan, thinking, does this guy always have to steal the spotlight? The scene is funny, but it also shows how tense their rivalry always is. Here's where the theory gets interesting. Luffy, who's always been a laid-back leader that doesn't care much about hierarchy, chooses Zoro as second in command because he recognizes the swordsman's strength, loyalty, and skill. But for Sanji, that feels like a blow to his pride. With his loyal heart and pride in being the best cook, he sees this choice as an insult, since he believes his contribution to the crew deserves equal recognition. This tension reflects their personalities. Zoro doesn't care about recognition, doing whatever it takes in silence, while Sanji seeks to be acknowledged, not just for his fighting skills, but also for his emotional importance to the crew. In chapter 1120 in Elbaf, we see this dynamic reach its peak. Zoro shines against the giants, showing even more of his strength, while Sanji, despite his cooking skills, just cooks. His frustration is palpable because he feels that no matter his value, he'll never be as noticed as Zoro. The stage is set for their rivalry to explode, whether in words, actions, or even in battle. Even though Luffy is the type of captain who doesn't care much about hierarchy, Zoro already behaves like a vice leader, even without the official title. Back in chapter 510 in Sabaody, he already showed leadership when Luffy disappeared and the crew needed guidance. In Wano, in chapter 1033, Zoro swore to surpass Mihawk in order to fulfill Luffy's dream, making it clear he's a pillar of strength, like in chapter 1010, when he fought Kaido with his supreme haki. It's not hard to see why Luffy chose him as his second in command. Zoro is his anchor of strength, but Sanji, that's another level of complexity. He's also a pillar for the crew, but in a different way. In Whole Cake Island, chapter 903, Sanji proves his loyalty by saving the crew. And in Egghead, chapter 1116, he continues dedicating himself by cooking for entire nations. He's always been there, fighting and sacrificing. And deep down, what he wants is recognition. He feels his role is just as important as Zoro's, and that's why the swordsman's promotion hits him so hard. Picture Sanji, a vein bulging on his forehead, yelling, "Second in command?" That lost Marimo, who doesn't even know which way the bow of the ship is. I cook, I fight, and I even save damsels, Luffy. In chapter 858, when Sanji finally returns to the crew after the Vinsmoke drama, he goes through a brutal test of loyalty. He expected recognition for what he did for everyone, but the real blow comes when Zoro is promoted to second in command. That decision, unexpected for Sanji, lights a fire of jealousy. He's always been the cook, the one who quietly takes care of the others. But now, Zoro with his swords, and Haki is the central figure of the crew in terms of strength and status. It's a curious moment because Sanji has never been one to hide his feelings. His pride is huge, and the idea of being beneath the swordsman, whom he considers somewhat sloppy, hits him almost physically. He's always fought to be more than just the cook, and this feels like a real blow. And it's not just about the title of second in command. It's about the recognition he longs for, not only as a fighter, but as someone essential to the crew on a deeper level than just the cook. Deep down, their rivalry is more than just jokes and name-calling. It's about how each values themselves within the crew. Zoro, with his dedication to Luffy's dream, and Sanji, with his pride and desire to be seen as vital to the crew's success. The moment Luffy says Zoro is his second in command, it's not just a title. It's the affirmation of a dynamic that was already there, but hadn't yet been confronted. And that's why the atmosphere aboard the Sunny, between plates of curry and the smell of the sea, will probably get tense once Sanji processes it. Behind Sanji's anger, there are deep insecurities he tries to hide, but they're always lurking. In chapter 865, during Whole Cake Island, his dark past as a member of the Vinsmoke family is revealed, where he was always the weak one, the only one who didn't fit into the genetically enhanced production line. Even though he overcame that, Zoro's appointment as second in command in the hypothetical chapter 1200 reopens that painful wound. Sanji fears that despite his fighting skills and his importance as a cook, he'll never truly be considered essential to the crew the way Zoro is. To him, Zoro's promotion feels like a reminder that he, the cook, the man who never fit the Vinsmoke mold, may never be seen in the same light as Zoro, the swordsman and pillar of strength. Chapter 485 in Thriller Bark is a key moment to understand their dynamic. Sanji watches Zoro nearly die protecting Luffy, taking Kuma's pain in his captain's place. That sacrifice, so pure and honorable, is something Sanji can't help but secretly envy. Zoro gives himself up completely for the cause, while Sanji, in his own internal struggle, feels he could never do something that grand. That moment is burned into Sanji's memory, and deep down, he knows he'll never have the same fame as Zoro for raw strength and heroic feats. And when Luffy names Zoro as second in command, even with the best of intentions, it reopens that wound. Am I really as important as he is? Chapter 1. 1033 in Wano is yet another proof of Zoro's strength. He awakens Conqueror's Haki, something Sanji never imagined he could achieve. Meanwhile, Sanji taps into his Vinsmoke genetics to fight Queen, pushing himself beyond his limits. Both Zoro and Sanji are pillars of the crew, but Zoro's shine his brute strength and grand feats always seems to draw more attention. No matter how hard Sanji fights, he feels like he'll never be seen as the guy. Now picture the scene. Sanji watching Zoro cut down an entire island and become vice-captain, while he, the cook who has also fought and saved the crew countless times, ends up in the background. Wouldn't it make sense for him to kick a table and growl, "That Maramo sliced an island and got made vice-captain? I cook for entire islands and get nothing?" That burst of frustration is really a cry for recognition, not just against Zoro's spotlight, but against the lack of appreciation for his role within the crew. Deep down, Sanji's frustration isn't just with Zoro, it's with his own insecurity. He's always been the different one, the one who never fit the perfect mold of the Vinsmokes. And even after conquering his inner demons, Zoro being named second in command reignites old wounds. He fears that no matter how much he fights, cooks, or saves the crew, he'll never be as essential as Zoro. And while their rivalry is a classic, in the end, Sanji's anger is above all a cry for recognition, a desire to be seen as an equal among the pillars that hold up. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.